Well, first of all, I'm excited that we're here today. We're joined by leaders from my administration who lead our development cluster, as well as with Councilman Kerry McCormick, as well as business leaders from around the city who are really focused on development at all scale across the entire city of Cleveland. Before we kick off the program, I want to talk about why today's event and why today's executive order is so important to the city of Cleveland. First and foremost, when I was knocking on doors, campaigning to be the mayor of Cleveland in 2021, one of the biggest things we heard from not just residents, but from many developers and business leaders across our community was the fact that we needed a modern and responsive city hall, and that we needed to modernize our building and housing department. And one thing that this administration has committed to doing is trying to do everything we possibly can to move at the speed of business. And so I think today's event and today's announcement shows material progress in our efforts to have a modern city hall and a modern building and housing department to grow our city in a more inclusive and effective way. So with that being said, I'll kick it off to Jeff Epstein, our head of integrated development. Jeff.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning. It's great to be here. This is a culmination today, or rather a pause point in the middle, because we're not done yet. This is in many ways the start of implementation of an extraordinary amount of hard work across our administration. This process of reviewing our permitting stretched across about 10 departments. It's reflected in the diversity of city leaders you see here today. Navid Hussain from our Building and Housing Department, Marty, our Director of Public Utilities, Tom Vanover, our Chief Building Officer, Jamie DeRosa, our Director of Mayor's Office of Capital Projects, Sally Martin-O'Toole from the Department of Building and Housing, our Planning Director will be joining us, Anthony Luke, our Chief of Fire, our ITS Department. This touches so many departments and has really been a team effort, and the folks that are at the table and the folks that work with them have spent hours and hours on this, so really appreciative to them. Also appreciative to our private sector partners who are joining us here today. This is an issue that I hear about all the time. We need to get better. We need to be more transparent. We need to better leverage technology. We need to leverage best practices in terms of speeding up how easy it is to do business with the city. I think this is going to have a profound impact on that. We're starting now. We're going to be implementing these for several years, but we think there will be short-term impact. And before I turn it over to Director Martin-O'Toole, I want to give a big shout out to Kate Warren, my special assistant, who really project managed all of this, a lot of cat herding, as you might imagine, in getting this to this point. But grateful to her, grateful for Mayor Bibb's very clear leadership and direction on this point. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our esteemed Director of Building and Housing, Sally Martin-O'Toole, who's going to walk through what we've been working on.
Thank you very much. Welcome. This has taken about a year to pull together, and we're very excited to share it with you. The overarching message we want to get out to you is construction permitting in Cleveland is being overhauled, and many of you will feel this was long overdue. The complexity of this process, which touches more than 11 departments for certain projects, can't be understated. So we spent the last year working with our national consultant, Baker Tilly, conducting a review of the plans and permitting processes and looking at different inputs. We did 15 internal interviews. We did over 50 internal staff members, and 10 departments got engaged in the process. So we actually put people in a room for days at a time to try to talk through and work through a better process. We did 7 external customer interviews. We did extreme, I would call it extreme data analysis in this case. We were doing process mapping sessions. We had them all over the walls. You know, we were working through what the current state looks like and what we want our future state to look like. So what we narrowed it down to is 4 areas for improvement, with 39 individual recommendations for improvement. And that reflects the application and intake process, staffing and training, local codes and policy, and technology. And these are the themes that will be repeated throughout all of the 39 recommendations that I'm sure will be circulated to you. So what are the goals? Predictability. No matter the size of your project, you will know how long it will take to apply, who will need to review it, and roughly how long it will take. It sounds simple, but I think this is missing currently. It's complex, it involves multiple departments, and sometimes there's what appears to be finger pointing. Well, it's over there. No, it's over there. So we're going to try to get to the bottom of that and make this as transparent and understandable to the customer as possible. Better visibility into your project. You can check online to see where the project is in the process and what steps remain. That requires many, many tech upgrades that we are currently launching now. Efficiency. By improving process changes, technology upgrades, and cross-departmental communication, the overall time from starting the process to shovel in the ground is decreased, and that's the goal. How can we make it easier, more understandable, and faster? Working at the speed of business, as Mayor Bibb says. So what are the key takeaways? What does the future look like? Building and housing is going to be the front door, the intake for all projects seeking a building permit. Projects will be routed to planning and other stakeholders as needed via our Acela database, which currently is not the case. They're physically routed there, but not every department is on Acela. Projects will be assigned a project tier from 1 to 4, associated with rough timelines and processes for approval. So the simplest projects should be very easy and quick. So we need to make the easy things easy, which is something our mayor says all the time, and it's something that we will be doing in the Department of Building and Housing. The city is going to be organizing pre-development meetings for more complex projects with appropriate representation from all the approval bodies. This will help developers anticipate what requirements are needed and ensure they're planning a project that can get all the needed sign-offs at the right time. The city will improve the public's access to information about what is needed, the process for approval, and how long it will take. This information is going to be available online and in person. And the city will provide training for all intake staff to ensure submissions at the counter are complete rather than waiting to send an adjudication letter. So doing our best to collect information on the front end to prevent having to reach back out to the customer and asking for additional information later. So we're excited about the executive order because this is Mayor Bibb's way of saying we're doing this. All of the departments that touch plans and permitting will be part of this initiative, and we're super excited. And the staff who work very hard, and I know many of you know our staff and know how hard they work, are extremely excited to see these changes take place and to make these improvements. So thank you so much.
And our amazing director of city planning just arrived. Joyce, is Joyce going to say a few words when she sits down and gets settled? Joyce?
Thank you all. I do think that Director O'Toole covered most of it. I think, part of what we're trying to do is to ensure that the process is clear for everybody. That there are, as Chief Building Official Tom Vanover says, all the timers, some timers, and the one-timers. And we want to make sure that the process is clear for everybody across the board, including those who are getting a one-time permit. That way it will be easier to upkeep our housing stock. It'll be easier to increase the housing supply that we desperately need, and to really have a clear communication process. So all those goals of efficiency, transparency, clarity, and predictability are critical to the success of our city as we grow. Thank you.
Thanks, Joyce. I want to next introduce our councilman for Ward 3. Council's been an important partner in this work. and we're grateful to have Carrie McCormick here with us.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chief and Mayor, for hosting this today. My name is Kerry McCormick, and I represent downtown and the near west side of the city of Cleveland. So I've had the privilege of being involved in projects as big as Sherwin-Williams Tower down to a neighbor's front porch. So I've interfaced with this process many, many times over my 8 years on City Council. City Council was excited and proud to sponsor legislation to approve this project and to fund it fully, to take a deep dive into our building permitting process. And we're really excited to see this roll out today. As I noted, for the good, the bad, the ugly, I've been involved in this process. And, we're excited, I'll put it this way, that we're moving in a new direction. Mayor, I'm excited to get fewer emails about permits in my inbox and fewer voicemails about permits. But truly, what I want to say today is that, there's no doubt that there is the big, shiny stuff that happens in our city, whether it's a new tower, significant reform on big ticket issues, or millions of dollars into this project or that project. But what interfaces with our residents every single day are the meat and potatoes issues. And there is no doubt about it that permitting for our communities are a meat and potatoes issues for every single neighborhood in the city of Cleveland. And yes, it is easy to go from fire to fire to fire, crisis to crisis to crisis, but it takes vision and leadership and patience to say, we're going to take a deep dive on the processes at the city of Cleveland to ensure that what our residents feel every day improves in our neighborhood. So I want to thank the mayor for his leadership on this, Director Martin O'Toole and the entire team for saying this is going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take grind, it's not going to make a headline every day, but it's critically important for the well-being of our neighborhoods and for the functionality of the city of Cleveland. And so I really, really appreciate that comprehensive look and really thinking about how do we change the culture and process of 601 Lakeside, because at the end of the day, the mayor doesn't matter, I don't matter. The only thing that matters are the people in the city of Cleveland and how they interface with their city and how we're representing them. So again, I want to thank the mayor, because again, this is stuff you could sweep under the rug. You could only, if you wanted to, you could just focus on the fun stuff, but this is critically important and a really big, important day for the city of Cleveland. Again, whether you're investing $1 billion in the city or you're putting on a back patio or front porch, this is a huge step for the city of Cleveland. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman. We have a number of partners around the table, many of whom participated in the process of giving us feedback on our current systems and processes, and we've invited several of them as representatives to speak on behalf of the contractors, the architects, the developers who are working in our city. I want to first introduce Mike Sikora, who is chair of the local NAIOP chapter and has been a great partner in helping us with feedback through this process.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. Oh, thank you. Thanks. I'm honored to speak on behalf of NAIOP, the Development Working Group, and as a representative of the local real estate community in support of the permitting executive order. This marks a significant milestone that will greatly benefit development and construction in the city of Cleveland. The local development community appreciates the ongoing collaboration that we have had with the mayor and with the administration, and the extensive study that was performed between the city and Baker Tilly. This permitting overhaul will make it easier for real estate businesses to thrive in our city and foster a more efficient and productive real estate market, which is one of the key industries that drives our economy. Cleveland's improved permitting processes will increase visibility, enhance efficiency, and enable developers and contractors to reliably meet their project milestones. These improvements also have the potential to attract additional investment to our city, facilitate more infrastructure improvements, and ultimately enhance the quality of life for our businesses and our residents. These are changes that will prove beneficial for the city of Cleveland as a whole. Mayor Bibb and the administration have been very committed and forward-looking when it comes to shaping policies that reflect the needs of our business community. NAIOP the Development Working Group, and the real estate industry look forward to continued work with the mayor and the administration to implement these improvements over the next few years and to continue to make the development process in Cleveland the best it can be, ideally to make it one of the best in the country. Finally, I'm a Northeast Ohio native, a longtime local business owner, and advocate for these policies, and I'm personally very excited to see these improvements come to fruition for the well-being of our city. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that and appreciate your partnership. Another great partner who wears many hats, Glenn Shoemate, the Construction Employers Association, and the guru of the ACE Mentorship Program here in Cleveland.
Good morning. My name is Glenn Shoemate. I'm the Executive Vice President for Construction Employers Association with 450 contractors here that perform a lot of the major projects in Greater Cleveland. As Jeff said, I also serve as a executive director of a Contractors Assistance Association, which has about 45 diverse design, construction, engineering firms. And probably going back about 8 years, our association, some of our staff and members visited City Hall, talked to administration about concerns around permitting. I saw a couple articles recently, back in 2021, a young Clevelander began to discuss a vision for a modern and more responsive City Hall. In September, Crane's article noted that this young citizen shared that because of the inefficiencies that we see with permitting processes, the lack of follow-through that only exacerbates inequities. Some may remember that statement. We're here this morning because that young man became Cleveland's 58th mayor. Mayor Bibb, thank you for your follow-through on so many pledges, commitments, and improvements you've made in a number of areas that have made Cleveland and Greater Cleveland better. Your grasp and commitment, as others have shared this morning, has made Cleveland better, both from a safety, a development, a workforce standpoint, and certainly in a contracting way. We appreciate those efforts. I think the details, within the permit improvement process are ones that are recommendations that contractors, developers, architects, and ultimately the citizens will all appreciate and will have, again, the type of impact and efficiency that we desire. So I want to thank you, Mayor, and Chief Epstein, Director Martin, Kate Warren, Councilman Hairston, and others who have worked to make these advancements happen for our community and our city. Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. I'm going to kick it back to the mayor in a moment, who's going to be signing an executive order, and maybe I'll let you outline the executive order, Mayor, and then we're going to have our city leaders come and stand behind you while you sign.
Well, as you heard from the comments here around the table this morning, this work affects every part of our city. It affects every resident in our city as well. And the reason why I wanted to sign my third executive order around this critical issue really is to show the sense of urgency that our administration, along with City Council, have around really modernizing our building and housing department for the 21st century, and show my commitment that we are going to make the easy things easier and always find a way to get to yes. And I know we have a dedicated team internally working across various departments across City Hall to bring this executive order into fruition. So again, I want to thank everybody around this table for your commitment, your feedback, your insights. We are just getting started. There's a lot more work to do, but you have my commitment to hold my team accountable to make this executive order a reality and to see real progress in our city, because one of my favorite things I've been saying lately is that I want to make the crane the new official bird of Cleveland. And so this executive order will allow us to hopefully make that a vision a reality. So getting ready to sign it as we speak.
Can we hold up? I want to get the city department leaders come over and stand behind the mayor while we sign.
Do you have a different pen for each letter?
No. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Okay. All set? Oh, okay. 3, 2, 1. It's official. Modernizing City Hall. Thanks, everybody.